Prison rape, the hidden truth, on today's Modern Day Leper with Ahmad Blakemore. Hello, how are you? And welcome back to another edition of Modern Day Leper with Ahmad Blakemore. I'd like to say hello to all of our leper fans, all of our lady lepers, and to our entire leper nation. How's everybody been? Today, we're talking about rape, prison rape, the hidden truth. This subject is a subject of interest. It's always being talked about on a constant basis. And I find that people who have no experience, never lived in a prison, never been to prison, and never had anything to do with prison, think they understand prison rape. It's kind of funny. I'm going to explain this and talk about this, and we are going to go through this together so that we can all have a better understanding. In 1978, a documentary came out, and that documentary was one that had never been done before. There hadn't been anything done like it in the past before that. The documentary was called Scared Straight. The Scared Straight program was developed by a group of inmates who called themselves the Lifers. The Lifers. This group of inmates, these men's time ranged from 25 years to life plus. How do you get life plus? One of the guys had life plus 12 years. The purpose of this program was to prevent criminal behavior among teenagers. The inmates that were in this program ranged from the big crimes: murder, Class A; robbery, Class A; assault, Class A; rape, Class A; and drugs, as in trafficking with cartels and that sort of thing. These were not small crimes. These were the big boys. And they wanted these young people to understand what prison was about, to stop them from being troublemakers and doing petty crimes before they graduated themselves to prison. And this group of young people came into the prison, male and female, mind you, to go through this program and be taught by this group of lifers. There was two major points that these lifers wanted to get across to these teenagers. And one of them was prison is extremely violent. Prison is extremely violent. The second point they made was prison was permanent. Once you graduated to prison, it wasn't like the county jail. It wasn't like some detention center, some youth program that you were in. Prison was for the big boys. And when you got there, you were doing a serious amount of time. And in that serious amount of time that you were doing, you were going to incur violence. They wanted them to understand that there was two types of violence that they were going to encounter if they came into the prison system: assault, murder, and assault, rape. Because the prison was extremely violent, people did a lot of fighting. This is not a place where you can come and be weak. This is not a place where you can come and show weakness. They were told if someone took something from you, you had to go back and take it back immediately. If you didn't take it back immediately, you would continue to have things taken from you. You would be seen as weak, and you would graduate to the second assault type, which was rape. That people were shanking each other over shoes and cigarettes and drinks. People were raping young people. It was part of the lifestyle of prison, and they wanted them to understand this. Assault happens for various reasons in prison. During my prison stay, I've seen a lot of fights, a lot of people beaten extremely bad. During the 5 years I spent in prison, I knew 4 people that got killed, that woke up that morning and was killed by a shank before the night was over. The reason these confrontations took place was visitation. Speaking to someone's family on the visit yard, uninvited. Looking at somebody's girlfriend or wife too long on the visit yard. Making a comment about a woman that's visiting someone is enough to get you killed. They wanted these young people to understand why people were raped. There are 3 primary reasons that people are raped in prison. 3. The number 1 reason rape takes place, assaults take place leading to rape in prison, the number 1 reason is power. Power. Power is defined as possession of control, authority, or influence over other people. This is the number 1 reason why people get raped in prison. Power. The number 2 reason people get raped in prison is profit. A financial advantage or benefit. People will get raped for money, property, stuff. If you have something they want, they're coming to get it. The third reason people get raped in prison is control. Control. Control is defined as the power to influence or direct people's behavior or the course of events. They want you to do something. They want you to act a certain way, be a certain way, do a certain thing. And this is why people get raped in prison. Now, notice that I did not mention pedophilia. Notice that I did not mention having a sex case or a case involving a child or a case involving a woman. None of that stuff has anything to do with why people get raped. There are certain type of victims that they're looking for when the rape happens. There are certain type of victims. The first type of victim is young people from the age of 15 to 19. Because young people are generally afraid. They're impressionable. They want to fit in. When the court system started charging children as adults, what they did was guaranteed that these young people going into the prison system would be victims of rape. Almost guaranteed. You send a 15-year-old into the prison system, he's going to be about 2 days. He's going to have himself a husband. Somebody is going to turn him into their girlfriend. This is why people are victims. The second type of victim in the system is known as a throwaway. A throwaway is defined as somebody with no family, no support. They get no letters. They get no money from home. They don't ever hear from anyone. A good example of a throwaway is somebody who came from another state. You come from another state. You come to the state, you're visiting relatives or you're visiting friends, and you get in trouble. You end up in jail and getting prison time, and you're stuck. You're now in the new state where you're in prison. You get a 10-year sentence, 15-year sentence, and you have no contact with your relatives, no letters, no money. And so you start bumming around, asking for favors, asking for items, trying to make friends, and you end up a victim. The number 3 type of person is the vulnerable person. Any vulnerable people that come to prison that are usually overcome by fear. They don't know what to expect. They're afraid of the inmates. They're afraid of the police. They're afraid to break a rule. They need protection. They're trying to get in protective custody or an honor dorm. And people can see fear dripping off of them. They're going to be victims. Again, notice I did not say sex offenders. I did not say pedophiles. I did not say people with sex cases. These cases can fit under this criteria. Sex offenders can be vulnerable. They can be throwaways. But they cannot be. And the people that they are going to make victims out of fit a certain criteria. And here's something else. There are rapists and pedophiles in the prison that are so crazy, nobody bothers them. The police don't want to fool with them, and the inmates definitely don't. Because they're just nuts. Prison rape is part of the institution of prison. It always has been. It probably always will be. When it comes to power over other people, profit, money to be made in prison, which the monetary exchange is different in prison, but if there is a profit to be made, someone is going to be exploited. This is how the prison system operates. The first week I was in prison, I met a young kid I'll call DJ. DJ was 18 years old. DJ was highly excitable. And he would always be talking to me. Hey, Ahmad. Hey, Ahmad. Hey, man, we can do this. We can do that. Hey, man, let's go get us some snacks, man. We don't got no money. But hey, some of these guys got a lot of food, man. We could just ask them for something. And I'm saying, DJ, do not ask these guys for their food. Don't take anything from these guys. No, man. They're cool with me. They're cool. I know these guys, man. They're real cool. They told me if I need something, I could get it. Hey, man, dude up there on the top said, hey, if I need something, just let him know. I could get it out of his box. He's real cool. DJ, young, impressionable, overly friendly is one of the main traits of a person who is going to have problems. He was way too friendly. And I told him, hey, man, don't take nothing from these guys. But he wants to get along with everybody, be in everybody's face, be with every clique. He went in the cell with some guys and was eating food. They were having a good time. They told him, hey, man, come back tomorrow. We're going to have a big thing. Come on over. All of us going to put some items together and we're going to eat together, man. Come kick it with us. And he went in the cell. And when he went in the cell, one of the guys kicked the door shut and the door locked. And there was 5 guys behind the door. And they raped DJ. By the time we got the attention from the cube, which is where the police officers are, with 200 guys in the dorm. Nobody can hear anything because it's loud. This boy got raped in a cell at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then they threw him out of the cell, and nobody act like nothing ever happened. There was another young man. He was 17. Everybody called him teenager. To this day, I don't know what his actual name was. Hey, teenager, come here, man. Take this and go do this. Okay, yeah. I'll do it. Yo, teenager, come here. Man, get over here. Do what I tell you, punk. Teenager just running errands. And I found out that all the errands he was running, they was raping this boy. He was being rented out. Rented out for magazines, items, coffee, cigarettes. Notice that I didn't mention sex offenders. Sex offender rapage is a new thing. Since the internet era, we all hear about sex offenders in prison. Back in the 70s, some of the most hardened criminals that were in prison were rapists. And there was nobody saying, I'm going to rape that guy because he raped somebody. No, if he was raping on the street, he's going to continue to come into prison and do some raping there too. Hurting women. In the 70s, a lot of men did that. Robbing, shooting, murdering, without mercy, leaving no witnesses, doing what they wanted to do. How do you think these guys got all that time? One guy on Scared Straight simply admitted that he shot the guy, broke both of the woman's arms, and did whatever he wanted to her. When he was through, he broke both of her arms and left her for dead. The man got a life sentence and 12 years. This is not about sex cases. This is about men in prison wanting power, profit, and control. And whoever the victims are, that's who the victims are. Some of the victims might have sex cases, but being raped in prison is not based on you having a sex case or not. That's the newest form of excuse that people use to justify what they want to do already. But prison rape has been going on and on and on. How many times have you heard the joke, don't drop the soap? Even kids say it, don't drop the soap. What do they mean? They're talking about rape. It's a feature of the prison. And nobody cares what kind of case you have. Now let's go back to control. I want to revisit control because who needs control more than anyone? Who needs control more than the inmates? The prison does. The prison needs control. You have 2,000 men, 2,500 inmates in a prison. with 50 cops. You got 700 men in that prison built like bodybuilders. How do you control all of that testosterone? All of the testosterone going on in the prison? You allow people to have marriages, to have mates, to have a boy. Sex in the prison is welcomed by the prison. As much as they tell you that they're trying to stop it, they won't ever stop it because it is a benefit to the inmates and the prison to have men being able to emotionally release. In 2004, in the state I live in, prison overpopulation was a big thing. They moved people from our state to the state next door. And people lost the person that they were married to, because there are prison weddings. Partners, their boys, got shipped off to another state, and the prison became extremely hostile. And the prison administrators were trying to stop all the fights. And for 2 weeks straight, the prison was out of control. How did they handle this? They moved people from every prison in the state that they knew were homosexuals and moved them to the facility I was in. 300 inmates came, all of them homosexuals. Guess what? The fight stopped in 3 days. No more fights, no more riots. Back to business as usual. People dressed like females, dancing, acting like strippers. And guess what? The warden was happy. This has nothing to do with sex cases. I am trying to explain to you the truth as to why people get raped in prison. It has nothing to do with the type of case you have. It has something to do with people wanting power, profit, and control. And it has something to do with their victims. Young people, throwaways, and vulnerable people. And that is the truth of the matter. And now we can stop the guesswork. My name is Ahmad Blakemore. I am the modern day leper, and I will see you on the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.